Hello everyone, Craig Ripley here. Welcome to another edition of Living Off the Slab. Okay gang, before we get started on this update for my saddle, the things that I've done to make it more comfortable, I want to bring something to your attention because as I was putting this video together, we passed a little bit of a milestone. And that milestone is that we've gone over 7,500 subscribers on this little YouTube channel, this Living Off the Slab channel that I put together. And I am very humbled that there are that many of you out there who are finding some value in what I'm doing. So I want to thank you sincerely. I appreciate it, and please keep watching. So at the rate we're growing here, we could be approaching that 10,000 mark somewhere around the time that we head out for our Alaska trip. So with that in mind, I thought it's probably time that this channel had a little bit of swag. So what I did was I put together this little character of my Yamaha Super Tenere and pay a little homage to those things that we all really seek to do, and that is find some adventure out there on the road. If you're not familiar with Teespring, let me tell you a little bit about how it works. You set up what's called a campaign, and that campaign runs for a set number of days, after which they go to print and then ship the shirts out to you. So I've set the campaign up to 3 days, so it will go to print every 3 days. That way people don't have to wait a long time to get their merchandise. And you only have to sell one. They'll do one-offs, so you'll get your shirt within at least 3 days, or it'll go to print within 3 days, and then they'll ship it right out. So if you're interested in purchasing one of these shirts, I'll have a link on my website at www.livingofftheslab.com, and also I'll put it in the description of this video. Remember a while back, I did a video on doing a 500-mile day on our adventure touring bikes, and we wanted to get used to this because we knew that there are going to be some days on this trip where we've got to do 400 to 500 miles and maybe a little bit more, getting from Boston out to Boise, where I'm going to start, where I'm going to pick up Peter and Stephen, and then when I'm coming home as well. So it's primarily going to be me doing these long days, but I need to be prepared for it and find out if my body's going to be able to handle that, if the bike's going to be able to handle it, and particularly are my seats here going to be able to handle it. Because the one thing we did have problems with on this trip is, of course, our butts getting awful sore. In particular, I was having an issue with pain behind my legs. So when I first got the Tenere, what I decided to do was to try the Saddlemen seat for it, right? So that's what this is. This is the Saddlemen seat for the Yamaha Super Tenere. And what's different in this saddle than from the stock? Well, it has a wider section for your butt here. It also has this pressure relieving channel that's in it, and it has gel in the saddle as well. It's a very nice saddle. It's a very well put together saddle, a very attractive saddle as well. And I have to say the gel and this pressure relieving channel does work. It definitely helps you. The problem that I would have on it though was this transition right in here. As my legs would hang over the side here on a long day, I would start to get pain back behind my legs. And I just couldn't find a comfortable position. So I decided that what I needed to do was find a way to give me the padding that this has here, but somehow make this transition from the wider section to the narrower front less abrupt, not such a hard edge. Now, I had a lot of great suggestions on what to do with this seat, and they range from getting an Airhawk seat pad, which Peter decided to do for his bike, and he really likes it, to either buying a Russell Daylong saddle or a Bill Mayer saddle. Given that I'd already purchased one custom seat, spending about $365 on it, I was a little hesitant to go out and get something else in particular that I couldn't try out first, right? The Russell or the Bill Mayer seats, again, they looked really nice, but they cost in the neighborhood of $600, and I just couldn't try them. I had to, you know, rely that they were going to work for me, and I just didn't want to go that way. What I decided to do was to find a shop close by me here that could do the custom work that I needed and that would work with me, would let me try the seat out. We would make changes to it before we did the finished product. So what I did was I went out to New England Trim, which is a local shop in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. And Peter had had some work done to his Harley seat several years ago and was extremely pleased with them. So I decided to give them a try. And I went out and I talked to Matt, who's the owner and the motorcycle seat guru out there, and I told him what my problems were. I took the bike out there, let him take a look at me sitting on the bike, and together we came out with a plan for how to fix my problem. In talking with me and explaining my issues that I was having, we decided to come up with this option, and that was to widen the rear section of the seat, give me more support in the rear. So we added about 1.5 inches to both sides, and then we tapered the seat down so that transition from the wide rear to the narrower front was much more gradual. Gone is that real hard edge that the Saddlemen seat has. After we got the shape of the saddle down, and I was able to go out and bring the shape home and ride it around and make sure that it was going to fit with me before we finished off the seat, which is one thing I wasn't going to be able to do if I ordered something online. So after we got the basic shape of the seat right, then what Matt did was to cut out an insert in the seat and add some gel. Right, so all of this now has a big gel pad in it. We then put a little layer of foam over the top of that, and then Matt made a nice new cover for me. Gave me a nice little red accent here, so really nice, simple design, but also gives me, a little bit more of accent and color of the bike. So I haven't had a chance to try this out yet for really long distances, but just the short time that I've been able to sit on it, it is much, much more comfortable than any of the other two seats that I've tried. That is the stock seat or the Saddlemen seat. So hopefully this will work out for me. I will definitely let you know as I can put more miles on it. But the one thing, if it doesn't work out, well, Matt and New England Trim is really close by, so I can always take this down there and have them make any modifications to it that will fit my body specifically. Something that I just couldn't have done if I was working long distance with a seat. Okay, folks, that's it. Once again, another short and sweet episode. Please, if you're going to buy from Twisted Throttle, do so by linking through my website. And remember, we are raising money for our Alaska trip to benefit Homes for Our Troops. Great cause, please. All we're asking is a small donation, $5-10. That's all we need. Go out to my website, www.livingofftheslab.com, and there's a link right there on the home page. So thanks. See you next time. Ride safe.